In the ever-shifting landscape of faith and spirituality, new movements emerge, challenging traditional beliefs and offering alternative interpretations of ancient texts. One such movement, the Way of Jesus, has recently gained attention for its unique approach to Christianity. This nascent religion, still in its formative years, distinguishes itself through its literal reading of the Bible, its emphasis on the teachings of Jesus over established doctrines, and its unconventional practices. The Way of Jesus is not merely a denomination within Christianity, but presents itself as a distinct faith path. It draws inspiration directly from the life and words of Jesus as recorded in the Gospels, viewing them as the ultimate guide for living a meaningful and ethical life. This focus on the teachings of Jesus rather than theological interpretations or church traditions sets the Way of Jesus apart from mainstream Christianity. The movement's emphasis on personal experience and its rejection of what it views as dogma have resonated with a growing number of individuals disillusioned with traditional religion. These seekers find solace in the simplicity and directness of Jesus' message as interpreted by the Way of Jesus. The movement's appeal lies in its promise of a more direct and personal relationship with the divine, unmediated by complex theological constructs. The emergence of the Way of Jesus reflects a broader trend of spiritual seeking and religious innovation in the 21st century. As traditional institutions and belief systems face increasing scrutiny, individuals are seeking new ways to connect with the sacred and find meaning in their lives. The Way of Jesus, with its focus on personal experience and its radical reinterpretation of Christian scripture, offers one such path, inviting followers to embark on a journey of faith rooted in the teachings of Jesus. Central to the beliefs of the Way of Jesus is its approach to Scripture. Unlike many Christian denominations that interpret the Bible through various lenses of tradition, history, and cultural context, this new religion emphasizes a literal understanding of the text. Adherents believe that the words of the Bible, particularly the Gospels, should be taken at face value without the need for complex theological interpretations or allegorical readings. This literalist approach has significant implications for how the Way of Jesus understands and practices its faith. For instance, the teachings of Jesus, as recorded in the Gospels, are considered the ultimate authority on matters of belief and practice. This emphasis on the literal words of Jesus informs their understanding of ethical behavior, their approach to social justice issues, and their rejection of certain traditional Christian doctrines. The commitment to a literal interpretation of the Bible also shapes the community's approach to translating and studying Scripture. The Way of Jesus prioritizes access to original language texts, encouraging members to engage with the Bible in its original Greek and Hebrew forms. This emphasis on original language study reflects a desire to understand the text in its purest form, free from the potential biases or interpretations embedded in translations. However, this literalist approach has also drawn criticism from some quarters. Critics argue that interpreting any text, especially ancient religious texts, without considering historical context, literary genre, and cultural nuances can lead to misinterpretations and misapplications of the text. Despite these criticisms, the Way of Jesus remains steadfast in its commitment to a literal reading of Scripture, believing that the true meaning of the Bible is accessible to all who approach it with sincerity and an open heart. The Way of Jesus diverges from mainstream Christianity in its emphasis on the teachings and example of Jesus over the Ten Commandments. While acknowledging the Ten Commandments as an important part of the Old Testament law, adherents believe that Jesus offered a new covenant, one based on love, compassion, and radical forgiveness. They view the life and teachings of Jesus as the ultimate blueprint for ethical living, superseding even the moral code established in the Old Testament. This emphasis on the teachings of Jesus shapes their understanding of morality and informs their approach to social issues. For example, Jesus' teachings on love for one's enemies and compassion for the marginalized guide their views on social justice, peacemaking, and care for the poor and vulnerable. They strive to embody Jesus' radical inclusivity by welcoming people from all walks of life, regardless of their background, beliefs, or social standing. The focus on Jesus' example extends beyond individual morality to encompass a broader vision of social transformation. Adherents believe that following the teachings of Jesus has the power to create a more just, compassionate, and equitable world. They see their faith as not merely a personal journey of salvation, but also as a call to action, a mandate to work towards the betterment of society and the alleviation of suffering in the world. This emphasis on the example of Jesus over the Ten Commandments has led to some practices within the way of Jesus that differ significantly from traditional Christian views. Their understanding of forgiveness, for instance, is rooted in Jesus' radical call to forgive 70 times 7, leading them to advocate for restorative justice practices and to oppose the death penalty. Similarly, their interpretation of Jesus' teachings on wealth and poverty informs their commitment to simple living and their advocacy for economic justice. In the way of Jesus, child baptism holds a significant place. It's seen as a welcoming into the community, a moment where the child is blessed and embraced by the faith. Parents and godparents take vows, promising to guide the child in the teachings and values of Jesus. This sacred ritual symbolizes purity, new beginnings, and the hope for a life aligned with the spiritual path. It's a touching ceremony filled with love, commitment, and a sense of belonging. Abortion, within the way of Jesus, is a deeply personal and complex issue. The teachings emphasize compassion, understanding, and the sanctity of life. However, they also recognize the importance of individual circumstances and the need for personal discernment. Followers are encouraged to seek guidance through prayer, reflection, and consultation with their spiritual community. It's about finding a balance between moral principles and the complexities of human life. When it comes to body modifications, the way of Jesus encourages respect for the body as a divine creation. While personal expression is valued, adherents are reminded to consider the spiritual implications of altering their physical form. The teachings suggest that any modification should be approached with mindfulness and a sense of reverence for the body. It's a matter of aligning one's actions with the broader spiritual journey. Organ donation is viewed as a profound act of love and generosity within the way of Jesus. The faith highlights the importance of selflessness and the impact of saving lives. Donating an organ is seen as a continuation of Jesus' teachings on compassion and service to others. It's regarded not just as a medical decision, but as a spiritual practice that embodies the essence of giving and community. Looking ahead, the way of Jesus envisions a future where its principles continue to evolve and adapt to the changing world. The focus remains on fostering a deep personal connection with the divine while addressing contemporary issues with wisdom and compassion. The faith aims to build communities grounded in love, understanding, and a shared commitment to spiritual growth. It's about carrying forward the timeless teachings in a way that resonates with future generations. Gap 2. In a remarkable twist of faith and technology, a devoted member of the Way of Jesus embarks on an extraordinary journey. Utilizing a time machine, they travel back to the year 325 AD to the court of Emperor Constantine. This pivotal moment in history, just before the Council of Nicaea, offers a unique opportunity to present the teachings of the Way of Jesus directly to the Emperor. Gap 2S. Our time traveler steps into the Grand Hall, greeted by the grandeur of the Roman Empire. With humility and conviction, they present the core beliefs of the Way of Jesus to Constantine, emphasizing the importance of a personal, direct relationship with the divine, the rejection of the Trinity, and the value of community and compassion. Gap 2S. As the Emperor listens, the time traveler outlines how these principles could shape a more inclusive and spiritually fulfilling future. They argue that adopting the Way of Jesus could lead to a faith that transcends institutional boundaries, fostering a deeper, more personal connection with the divine. Gap 2S. The scene is charged with anticipation and hope. Will Emperor Constantine be swayed by these compelling arguments? Could this moment alter the course of history, steering Christianity towards a path more aligned with the teachings of the Way of Jesus? Gap 2S. As our traveler returns to the present, the encounter leaves us pondering the profound impact of faith, choice, and the timeless quest for spiritual truth. It's a reminder that the journey of the way of Jesus is not just about understanding the past, but also about envisioning a future where its principles can inspire and guide us towards a more compassionate world.